In the northern Greek village of Agia Eleni, an annual spring festival is in progress. Greek Orthodox priests lead a church service to worship Saint Constantine, the man responsible for bringing the Christian religion to the Roman Empire. But when the Orthodox ceremony ends, another ritual commences. One that the church calls pagan and sacrilegious. It is a 1,000-year-old ceremony in which practitioners test their faith in a walk through fire. For much of the year, the village of Agia Eleni is a quaint little town with a population of just 700 people. Many of its residents, like 54-year-old Kyriakos Patsos, feel extremely lucky to live here. Most of the time, Kyriakos lives quietly, but at festival times, Kyriakos becomes the chief icon bearer in a firewalking festival called the Anastenaria. The ritual centers on a set of ancient icons that worshippers believe have special powers to heal and protect. One story claims that 1,000 years ago, worshippers rescued the icons from a burning church, escaping from the flames miraculously unharmed. Ever since, the descendants of those worshippers have carried the icons into the fire to prove their faith and to seek blessings from Saint Constantine. But others view the ritual as sacrilege, a pagan custom that has survived days from long ago. Both the firewalking itself and risking the holy icons are thought to show disrespect.
People who oppose the tradition dislike the fact that we take the icons along in the fire. That's why they claim the tradition is pagan.
Kyriakos has firewalked most of his life, but for others, faith came later in life. Sotiris Paniotou had long admired the firewalkers, but never expected to do it himself, until the day that he almost lost his life. Sotiris, a car mechanic, spent years working in the closed environment of his garage. His job exposed him to dangerous fumes that ultimately damaged his heart. Then one day at work, he suffered a heart attack and was rushed to hospital. Sotiris underwent emergency heart surgery in an attempt to repair the serious condition. He was only 41 years old. His wife lit candles in church, asking Saint Constantine to spare her husband's life. Luckily, Sotiris survived. During his recovery, Sotiris attended the Anastenaria ritual and felt a calling to walk across the hot coals.
I went there and I lit a candle, and while the firewalking was happening, I felt the power to take off my shoes, and I joined the rest.
Sotiris was unharmed by the hot coals, and since that day he has become a firewalker. Back at the festival, as sunset approaches, worshippers build a huge fire and the ceremony begins. As always, it starts with ancient folk songs played on traditional lyres. It's powerful music that touches the believers' hearts and moves their feelings and senses. It creates a powerful spiritual atmosphere. For many, dancing is a form of confession, and as the evening progresses, guilt and other emotions can become too much. "72-year-old Ero Anastenaria is moved to tears by the weight of her sins. Ero, who lives in Athens, has attended the Anastenaria every year since 1968, but tonight will be a particularly challenging test of her faith. Kyriakos picks up the sacred icon. The saint and the dancer's faith in him are the only protection the Anastenarians will take into the fire. While the Orthodox Church may not approve of firewalking, Anastenarians still see it as a way to receive blessings from Saint Constantine. A light wind has made the coals bright and extremely hot as they're spread into a glowing circle. The firewalkers form a small procession. As the bearer of the holy icon, Kyriakos must lead the way. He will cross the hot coals first from north to south. He'll then make a second pass from east to west. His steps form a symbol of a holy cross, and he seems to show no indication of pain. The spiritual actual act of firewalking is surrounded in mystery and analysed by skeptics. One expert reports that there have been several cases of people trying to walk across coals without ceremony or ritual that have resulted in severe burns. However, when participating in a ritual with others, a certain energy in the group is created that often elevates the spirit. One by one, the followers of St. Constantine step across the hot coals. So Tyrus the mechanic takes his turn. But there is one worshipper who's having trouble taking that first step. Ero Hodge Antonario stands frozen on the edge of the fire. Her eyesight is weak and her faith is uncertain. Others warn her not to cross, saying that doubt and hesitation can lead to serious injury.
You cannot persuade anyone to enter the fire. If someone isn't ready, they cannot do it.
For the weak of heart, time is running out. The fire is dying and it won't be lit again for another year.
I didn't think I would do it. I said my prayers, but they didn't help. My eyesight is so poor these days, so my son led me across. I helped him years ago. He helps me today.
Ero has completed her test of faith, but the night is not over. The ceremony continues until the hot coals are nearly stamped out. The atmosphere is a joyful one. Kyriakos, Sotiris, and everyone who managed to walk across the coals are thrilled that their faith carried them through the test. Many of the spectators, though, are skeptical. Science has offered possible explanations about firewalking. One is that sweat from the body forms a protective layer between the skin and coal. But as one expert notes, while science may be a powerful way of explaining what happens, it's not necessarily the only or the most interesting way to explain things. Back at the shrine, the faithful need no further explanation. They could have been badly burned, but they seem to be untouched and completely fine. So Tyrus is convinced that his faith and his readiness to test it has prolonged his life and given him time with the grandson he might never have seen. For Kyriakos, there's a sense that he's completed his duty to the village. He believes that by taking the test of fire, the firewalkers have ensured the blessings of St. Constantine for the community for another year.